Okay.
And so far, so good. Everything's gone right. Don't tell me like all of a sudden I was like, no, you're not. Oh, yes, we've gone live. We've gone without a hitch for once.
Whoops.
And bye-bye.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Okay.
Do the classic sound check. Can everyone hear both of us?
Test. Test.
Yeah, test. Are we loud and equally on both sides? Hey, Tessa. Welcome.
All right.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Hello, Sarah. Hello, and welcome to another Pod Squad Creature Feature talk with myself, KP, and Reha. And if you didn't guess by the title of my video, at least, we're going to be talking about number 2. This is Poop Talk, part 2, number 2. I had to use a pun. So we actually still got quite a bit of questions to get through. But you're welcome to put it in chat, but we'll try to get through all the questions that are on the sheet, so to think. But yeah, anything we want to recap from last time for the audience? I think they're
yeah, no, I don't think, well, I honestly, I don't really remember specifics of what we covered last time, except for that it was all about poo-poo, so.
Yeah. It was a
the word of the day on the last stream was spraint.
Oh yes, the spraint situation.
Yes, spraint.
Because that's what you call it when a ferret, or not, or like a otter.
It sounds
probably
just
applies
like
to
if it was on land.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
spraint.
Yeah.
And then it was sprat for something else, wasn't it? Or scrat. Like there's so many different names. Like I think we just need to have a stream of just going through the names of the different kinds. And yes.
That could be fun.
Which one?
That could be fun.
Wombat has square poop. Has cubes. It poops cubes.
Oh yes, the cube pooper.
But anyway,
we'll be watching walruses for the most part on my side because they're bound to poop. They are pooping machines.
Yes, so. And same on this side because only because you made a very good point about the walruses last time. I think we were 2 seconds into the video and one just let go, so
yeah. It's
perfect timing. But anyway, guys, let's move on to the first question. Let's talk about shit. Yeah, okay. We're about to. So let's just get on to that first question to break the ice, so to speak.
Our first question is, when you collect poop from the animals, is it strictly for research or for personal health checks?
Oh, yeah. No, wow. we will do poo-poo collection for if vet staff ask for them. So that there will be some times where, vet staff is like, oh, if you could get a poop sample, that would be really, really great. And so we'll collect poop for those reasons. But for the most part, it's for research. But yeah, you can absolutely tell a lot about how an animal is doing by how their poo-poo is. I do a lot of looking at my ferret's poop, and we've talked about this with your beardy, JJ, is that like you gotta look at the poop, man. You can tell so much about the health of an animal by their doo-doo. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm actually taking to the vet tomorrow, and the first thing the doctor said is like, if she poops, save it, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the fridge. I'm like, that's a great thing I want to put in my fridge, but I'm gonna have to do it because poop.
We have entire freezers dedicated to poo-poo at work.
And freezers, at least they're separate from everything else.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Like entire freezers. Like it might sound odd, but there's a part of me that wants to see this poop fridge. Like just to see what a poop fridge looks like.
Yeah. Well, it's not really like that interesting because it's like yeah. Anyway, it's not like it's organized and like
It's just
here, go look at it. It's just like bags of frozen shit. Here we are. Here we are.
yes. Welcome for all of you that are like, I want to learn science and work in the aquarium to play with the otters. You also got to deal with the fridge of poop. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
well that's interesting enough, but a very good question actually. But hey, JK,
Yeah.
hey everyone, let's roll through these questions.
Our next question is, what type of research is being done with poop, and on what animals at the aquarium?
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit, but right now we just wrapped up a sea lion study, a dietary study where we basically monitored exactly what we were feeding the animals, so they got a specific percentage of specific items, and we that varied depending on where we were at in the study. So at one point in the study they were getting a third salmon, a third herring, a third, I forget if it was capelin, I think it was capelin. And then we would change that up so that it would be 75% salmon, whatever the researchers wanted us to do. So that basically we just varied the percentage, and we can control what the animals eat because we know what they eat. And so we were providing them with the proper percentages for this diet, and then collecting their poop, so that the researchers can then look at the poop and go, okay, can we tell by looking, like, we already know what percentage the animal was eating, so is that reflected in the actual doo-doo? And the reason for doing this research project is that then they can go out into the ocean and on the rookeries and actually collect the poop and say, because some fishermen and stuff have a problem with like sea lions taking their salmon and stuff like that, but they can actually go into the poop and go, listen, we know that this animal is only 10% of its diet is salmon based on the research that we did back at the aquarium. And you have to do that kind of research. Like it's not possible out in the ocean at first because you wouldn't know exactly what those animals are eating. So that's why it's really important to have what we call a control group of animals at the aquarium so that we can control what they're doing. Then we can know how to make that work, and then hopefully have it reflected out in the ocean. We've done similar stuff with sea otters, except for with sea otters, we actually did poop collection to see if you could tell hormone levels via the poop, and whether or not you could tell if the females were going to be going into estrus or things like that. So poop can tell you all different kinds of things.
And if I may ask, what was, even if it's minor, the results of that examination? Can you detect hormone levels from that?
You can, but it's just not quite as reliable and not quite as in depth as you would get from a blood sample. So it can be used, but if you have the ability to do a blood sample, that's just far and away the better thing to do. But in a pinch, it will work. Yeah.
In a pinch, really?
I didn't mean to do that one.
Oh, this is gonna be. That was so well put, though. But I guess it's also because, if I correct me wrong, it's like the science behind this is still relatively new. We all think that we're like so technically advanced, but is this sort of research relatively new in terms of like
because you really in actual, when you actually look at the timeline of it, it's been a very short amount of time that we've had animals like this under human care and actually had the ability to do things like this. So it's definitely rather new science, and there's just so much that we can learn, and like having animals under human care makes it infinitely easier.
Yes, absolutely. Which we've echoed so many times of why it's actually important to have animals in human care. It's not just for tricks and fun and entertainment. It's that science behind it, which completely changed my perception on things like that. But thank you. Let's move on to the next question.
So our next question is from chat, actually relating to the last question, and Pema was asking, do you know whose poop it is, or was it not that detailed?
Yeah. No, so you have to know whose poop it is. So that's a good question. How in the world do you know whose doo-doos is whose? So what we would basically do is group the animals together that were on the same percentage diet. So essentially we had like 3 working groups of animals that were at different stages in the research. So if you have, the animals that are on the whatever, 30, 33 percentage like diet, what you would do is we actually stuff the fish with like these little cornstarchy pills that have different colors. So the pills are filled with like a little like cornstarch confetti. And so when the festive poop. So when the researcher goes to scoop it out of the bottom of the pool, because they poop in the water for the most part.
Yes.
Just scoop it out, and then she has to go through it, but she can go through it and go, oh, this is green, this is Ashby's, this other one is red,
God.
This belongs to Bella.
It's colored.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So there's like a couple different ways that you could do that, but basically we kind of like limited the group, and then we also had to pick and choose the animals that we used for this, because some animals are poop eaters.
Oh no. So
we really can't have one pooping and then eating the other one's poop and then mixing up the colors and like those types of things. But yeah, so basically we would stuff little cornstarch pills, and everybody knows corn doesn't really, everybody knows.
Yeah.
So it just passes right through, and then we collect it in the doo-doos.
Like, that is amazing. I'm like, there's something fascinating about, like, I found the red poo. It's
yeah.
And using corn, I mean, that's an old trick. But see, people, it's not just all bad. Some of it sounds fun.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They still had to go through the poo-poo.
Yeah, I guess.
Like,
guess that's the crime.
They were getting paid a lot more than we were, though. So.
Okay. Has it been?
Anyway, yeah.
Moving on to the next question.
Okay, our next question is: has there been any progress with any of those current research that was performed?
Like progress? I mean, like
scientific
has
discovery.
research progressed in any way or found any discoveries?
Well, I mean, they found what they thought they were going to find with this. A lot of this research is not really like discovering things like, oh my goodness, we discovered. It's more like we need to prove that this is a valid, and a viable way to conduct something, so that then they can go out into the wild and do it there. Because obviously the wild is where we care about what the animals are eating and what they're doing and stuff like that. But it's you get those first steps accomplished at the aquarium. So yeah, I mean that research is like literally brand new. Like we just wrapped it up like a month ago. So I don't think they, or maybe they have. I don't know if they've gone out and started collecting out in the wild yet or not. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, it's not really like it's really important stuff. Yeah, but it's not really like, it's not really like, oh, we've done it. It's not that kind of research.
We've cured world peace with this poop.
Yeah.
But still nice to know that there is something, even if minor, the progress has been made, in some things. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean, things are always progressing and stuff like that. But like a lot of, I think, we sort of romanticize research. I mean, I do myself, and about it being like this very exciting, kind of a thing. But for the most part, it's just collecting shit and and analyzing it. So.
Yet you say that, but that was one of the most popular scenes in Jurassic Park. You might not remember everything else, but you remember the person going through poop.
That's true.
The whole plot was based around, wait a minute, they're developing hormones. They're turning into
Yeah.
males. Oh gosh. But yeah. Next question about poop.
Our next question is it possible to tell if an animal is sick just by their poop?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like entirely possible to completely like diagnose something, but you can definitely like I can tell when my ferrets aren't feeling well by
Yes.
what their poo-poo looks like. And so it's also it's just another tool in our tool belt. You know, and if we go out and go you know, hey, we've got an animal who's looking like it's not feeling super well. Also, this is a sample of its poop and this is abnormal. Like then you've just got more information and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely possible to look at poop and go, "Oh, hey, this isn't normal."
Yes.
You know, maybe something's wrong. So, but it's not like a complete diagnostic tool, I don't think, but it is you know, it's definitely definitely an important tool, and we use it all the time. Like I'm always looking at shit, you guys, like always. And it's not because like I think that it's cool or fun, it's just because it's like it
That's
is
a great
important.
tool.
Like it's important to watch what's coming out of your animals and watch that they are pooping. I mean, especially
Yes.
for those of us with like ferrets, and it probably applies to bearded dragons. I mean, pets
Yeah,
in general.
absolutely.
Like I am just making sure that they are pooping. Because you know animals are prone to blockages and stuff like that,
Impact.
and
Yeah.
that's how I'm gonna know is if they haven't pooped, then I know there's a serious problem. So
And that's actually one of the bearded dragon's most common elements and most dangerous is impaction.
yeah,
So when my bearded dragon isn't pooping in that, like I'll probably my vet has seen way too much of me because the slightest indication, and it is because of
yeah,
poop. I mean, like I said, she's actually going to the vet tomorrow because her poop looked weird, and I'm like, and she is acting weird, so I'm like, I'm going to the vet, and it's purely because I'm
yeah,
like, I didn't like your poop today. It didn't look
yeah,
normal. It looked less
yeah.
poopy than normal. So yeah, it's a really big, and it saved my bearded dragon a few times when she laid eggs.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. She had been hiding eggs in her body since she was an adolescent. They hold eggs in there, and it turns out
The
that she
egg
was
situation
pregnant.
I've seen be like a big problem for that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
because they get very, and then they have to find a place to lay it, and if you don't look after him, they could actually get inside, and all of a sudden, oh, by the way, yes, she's pooping like that because she's got eggs, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a grandparent? What the fuck? I'm not ready for this. But it's a big important thing, as you say. But even I think we even need to look at our own shit sometimes. I know it sounds weird, like get your shit together, but sometimes it's a great indication of. I mean, you can't become a pilot without it, anyways. You want to become a pilot? You're shitting in a tub.
The worst though is when you like forget you had beets the night before
Oh yeah.
and you're like, I'm dying. Oh wait, no, I'm fine.
I've
It's
had
fine.
that and like, oh no,
I'm fine.
oh wait, it's me. No, it's all cool.
It's
Yeah.
just me. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh gosh, I feel misunderstood. I was saying this on chat. What? But
JJ, my chat can see you knitting little hats for the eggs that your bearded dragon would lay.
oh my gosh, when she laid eggs, I'm like, first of all, do they have little bearded dragons in it? I'm like, but turns out she laid eggs like a chicken.
Yeah,
I was very
yeah.
disappointed. I was ready for like 12 or 15 babies that
You
she had laid.
you thought you were gonna have that immaculate conception via bearded dragon, like
Well, they can actually, if they're in a cage. I know we're diverting. If they're in the vet, I mean in the shop, because I bought some pictures when she was being mistreated, but they can
Okay.
poof and hold that magic inside them for like 5 years. So
yeah, like the delayed implantation or
yes,
whatever it is.
like imagine 5 years
Yeah,
later,
okay.
someone coming like, "They're your babies." Like, what? It's been 5 years. Are you sure? Bearded dragons.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but poo-poo
Poo-poo.
can definitely tell you a lot.
Yes, so keep the sample of your animals when you take them to the vet.
We should at some point we should get a camera on Reha just so we can watch her facial expressions when you
Yes.
and I just go off the rails and like she can't get control of the situation.
I can actually feel sometimes maybe
I
her
am
eyes rolling.
normally, while you guys are just going on, I'm normally checking the chat for questions and looking over the questions that we have.
Just keeping busy. Just keeping busy. Anyway,
And
all right.
Get killed on, moving on to the next question.
Our next question is, are poop specimens always collected when a sick animal is being diagnosed for health issues?
Usually you'll do like the first, like, you're not going to collect a poop sample every single time that they poop, probably, because once you have one, it kind of tells you what you need to know. And like depending on what's wrong with the animal, right? Like we have an animal, unfortunately, today who is not doing super well in a sea lion, and she's very old, and she has cancer. So we were collecting poop samples, and then we diagnosed her with cancer. Well, we're not really collecting poop samples anymore because we know what the diagnosis is, and no amount of poop collection is going to cure her of cancer, right? So there are times for collecting poo-poo and times to not really worry too much about the doo-doo. And usually if you collect one poop sample, like the vet staff doesn't want just like infinite amounts of doo-doos. So you know, we just kind of like at a certain point they start to get annoyed. They're like, no, we're good on this shit. Thank you so much. That's enough. So no, we don't like just we don't just have like mountains of poo poo and we just like have to collect it every single time. We just definitely make sure that we collect it. It's also up to the vet staff whether or not that they know better than us too, like whether or not poop is going to help them or not. So
I can imagine the vet or the doctor like, I didn't get a qualification to see this much shit. It's like, it's not okay. But true story. And that's, I saw the question popped up here, but no, it's just my chat. Every second word is poop. I can understand. But let's move on to the next question.
All right.
Our next question is otter poop more of a liquid or a solid?
Weird, but good question.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely more liquidy. But there's you can collect it. I have. But it's not like there's not like any floaties or anything like that like left over. Like it's pretty it dissipates pretty quickly in the water. Yeah.
Is it what we actually see it on the camera? It's like kind of yellow.
Yeah, it usually is like kind of yellowy and it's got like some chunks in it, but for the most part it's pretty pretty much
sounds like the best oatmeal. I don't know why
I always thought of it as like liquid sand coming out of their butts.
No, it's kind of like, I don't know. But otter poop is indescribable, you guys. Like it's so weird.
Google it.
Like, yeah, it's really. I can't really describe it to you. It is its very own thing. Like,
I'd say Google it in your own time, but make sure safe search is on. I can't speak to that.
Safe search.
Yeah, otter poop. Like, poof, right, it's all case. Move on to the question while I try to find a question that apparently was on chat. Next question.
So the next question is the more liquid nature of marine mammals' poop due to their diet, or is it an environmental cause?
That's a good question. And I'm not 100% sure. I would guess it's probably largely due to their diet, being that they are like really only eating protein. Because I feel like a lot of those animals that have like doo-doo that like sticks together is like they eat a little bit of like plant material and stuff like that. But I'm not really 100% sure. It's a great question. But yeah, I don't know. But there are like the sea lions will leave like I've talked about it when I dive to clean up, like I've found logs like the size of my arm down there. So like they can also produce actual solid doo-doos. But it's a good question. I'm not really sure.
We had a question on chat here is, do otters swallow their fur when they are grooming, and does the fur come out in their poop?
Good question. Yeah, I mean, I do think a little bit of their fur definitely goes down, and yeah, but we don't have like it's not enough that it like clumps anything together or like you know like we don't have like hairballs and stuff like that. So it's not that much. Like they're not as big of shedders as like say a cat and stuff like that, which really makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because they don't want to be losing like an enormous amount of hair all the time. I know I always complain about the amount of hair like on the haul outs and stuff, but that's from 8 otters you know on the haul outs. So it's like it's actually not that much when you consider like how many animals it is. So yeah, they definitely do ingest some of their fur, but yeah, they also tend to use their hands a lot for grooming too. So I think that kind of helps to cut down on that, is that they're, oftentimes
Yeah.
rubbing their heads and stuff like that instead of licking. But yeah, no, it definitely does come out the other end. Yeah.
Lovely. All wrapped up in a nice fur bundle.
Gross.
I think that would be more for Mac, because Mac seems to love to lick his paws. Like, besides the pacifier, like, always he's got his lollipop. It's so cute though.
Yeah.
But let's not
Yeah.
ruin that image now with this question. But let's move on to the next one.
Our next question was in comparison to the Monterey Bay Aquarium's otters, and it was, is there a reason why most of the sea otters at Van Aqua poop in the water and not on land?
That's most otters like everywhere. And as for like a reason, I just think it's their natural, like being in the water is their natural place. And so they, that's like where it's kind of the same thing with humans. Like you've
Yeah.
now essentially potty trained yourself, and so becomes the only place. Like even like for me, when I go on vacation, this is like getting personal. I often can't like poop. I don't poop like normal person because I'm on vacation, and my little bum bum is like, nope, this isn't home. We don't poop here. Thank you so much. And so I think it's kind of the same thing. And then, like, even going back a little bit further, when we are initially taking care of the otters when they're itty bitty, we need to stimulate them to poop because it's really important, and mom would naturally do it as well. And the way we do that is by dunking their little bums in the water. That cold water hits their little bums, and we like splash it up on them. And it's the same thing. Like dogs will do it with their puppies. By licking them in that area, and it stimulates them to poop. So yeah, like it's probably comes back to that response as well. So they like, as soon as their little bum bums go in the water, they're like, ooh, here we go.
Oh, shock release.
Yeah. It's like the
Nothing
ultimate
better than natural toilet paper.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate otter bidet,
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if humans should try that. I don't know. How constipation, just dunk your bum in cold water. Use a bidet.
I mean, you can use warm water if you want to. It's
Yeah,
just
well,
all
okay.
about what you're looking for.
Yeah. Question. Are otter babies prone to suck air when bottle fed and then bloated compared to human babies? What? Okay, that was
Oh,
yeah, but that's still a
well,
decent
that's
question.
okay. I know it's not a poop question, but it's
Yeah.
a digestion question.
Yes.
Yes, no, absolutely. So, and also the milk formula that we give them is not like it's obviously not sea otter milk. Like we
Yes.
didn't go out and milk a sea otter. Can you even imagine? Um, so it's puppy formula and it does pretty well for them, but they do get a little bit gassy. So we literally give them Gas X usually with their meal, which is like if any moms in the chat are probably familiar with this, it's very common to use with actual human babies, and it just
Yes.
helps to get rid of some of the gas. So yeah.
My own question: have we forgotten to give that to Joey? Because it looks like he's never released his gas.
Yeah, I should just start slipping him some and see if it
See
see
if
if
he
it starts
deflates.
to work.
Our round Russian egg.
Yeah.
Next question.
We're okay. Sorry, I had to put a mask on because somebody had just like let rip like a horrible smelling fart in my room.
Oh my
Like,
god.
It's in
dying.
topic. It's within topic.
Way
There's
to
only
sacrifice
two
yourself for the
creatures.
topic.
Yes. Did they just walk in, drop
Only
it, and
two
leave?
creatures in this room that it could have been. So
It was a
next
kaika for
question.
sure.
Oh, you're talking about shit? Let me teach you something.
Yeah.
When
Anyway.
Joey was younger, one of the trainers said that his poops were recorded in a poop diary. Is that true?
Oh yeah. Well, we especially when they're younger, we take records, and our records are pretty because those young animals, like there's a strong chance that they are not going to make it. Like it's not that uncommon to have some serious issues, and so we keep very dedicated and very sort of elaborate records of the animals. So like the exact time that we fed them, yada yada yada. So then that way we can go back in the records and go, okay, he's not feeling well today. What happened yesterday? Oh, okay, he got 2 feeds within 2 hours when they're supposed to be 3 hours apart. Maybe that's part of the problem. Stuff like that. But yes, we absolutely record bowel movements, because if you go like, oh, this poop looks a little weird to me, and then you go back through the records and go, oh no, this is what people have been seeing for the last, because sometimes we would be, I'd be there on a Joey shift and I only do 1 or 2 a week. Well, I haven't seen him, for maybe 7 days. So it's a great way for us to stay on the same page, and you can just go back, read the records a little bit and go, okay, no, this is actually very normal for him to have a poop like this. And this is when he needed to poop yesterday. So it's about like, we're a little past that time. So I'm going to put him in the water because I think he probably needs to poo. Like that kind of stuff. So yeah, we keep detailed records of Joey's. Would you guys like his poo-poo records? Should I release his poo-poo records
Oh,
to the?
I'm sure everyone would actually love that. There's something fascinating about that.
Yeah, like the celebrity. Here's where every time he shit for the
Yeah.
first 6 months of his life.
I know that wouldn't be done, but I even suspect if you sold it as an NFT, it would make so much money. Someone out there would buy
Yeah.
it. Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's medical records. I probably shouldn't sell
No,
it. So
no. But if you had to release them, I'm quite sure everyone. Yeah, look at my chats. Like everyone's like, yes, please, release the
yeah,
records.
like my chat too is like, let's go,
Let's do it.
go. Yeah.
These manatees. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. The little puppies, little bebés. They're like floating potato poops. But moving on to the next question.
Our next question is: does Joey pass gas when he poops?
Most of them do. Yeah, you'll see like little bubbles, and then a poo poo happens. Yeah, yeah. I mean, animals fart too, guys.
Yes, they're mammals.
We watched. I have that YouTube short of me watching a sperm whale
Oh,
fart. That was
God.
pretty funny. And then we've watched. Obviously, the manatees are farting like constantly. So yeah, no, everybody poops and everybody farts, just like Reha's experiencing right now.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
I'm dying.
Something in her room decided to greet her. But yes. And
It's worse when it's like the both of them and like the fan is blowing this way. Oh, okay.
Again, within topic. You're the most immersed person in this topic right now. But if anyone,
And some animals are more gassy than others, like just like individual wise, not even species wise. So like we have harbor seals, we have 3 of them, and one of them is extremely gassy. And almost every time well, first of all, when he's just floating there, his butt is always floating really, really high. Higher than the rest of his body. We call him floaty butt. And then like when he hauls out and you ask him to like come onto the scale or whatever, he just like it's 75% chance he's going to release a nasty old fart when he heads up there, because he's just gassier. I don't know why. He's on the exact same diet as all the other animals, but he's just gassier. Individuals.
yes,
Yeah, but they're not veggie eaters. They're not veggie eaters at all.
What is making them do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
So kind of submarine, like, I swear, you must leave a camera constantly on this otter now. We need to see this. I think it was your video, you once caught an otter making a small little toot. So there's evidence on Instagram that they do. They do.
Oh, yeah. They do. Yeah. No, they definitely... I think it was actually that seal that I did capture farting. It happens. Everybody toots.
But oh my gosh, everyone's talking about Joey's belly and if he doesn't release his gas.
Guys, I don't think it's gas. I think he's fat.
Yeah,
we have to accept it.
We need to tell Miko that in our chat, because he's constantly on the slim and trim Joey. He is not fat. You can see his ribs. He's just got a lot of floof and a lot of fur. He's just fat.
Oh no, he is. As somebody who sees them all every day, he's got a lot. He's got some badonk in his trunk.
Moving on to the next question.
Our next question is, why is rabbit poop round?
Why is it round? I mean, I don't know, because it's the same as like deer poop and stuff like that is all round too. So I imagine it has to do with their diet and their particular digestion. Although interesting fact, rabbits actually need to eat their own poop.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it's actually
also.
Okay, yeah. So it's not just rabbits, but it's called coprophagy, and it is actually a part of their digestion. So they essentially are unable to so the way their digestion works is that the front part of their digestive system is capable of digesting certain types of things, and then the back half is capable of digesting other types of things. And so when food makes its way one time through its digestive system, they actually miss a lot of the nutrients, because it needs to, the end product needs to actually be processed through the beginning of the digestive system. So rabbits eat their own poop like all the time, and it's actually normal, and it's actually a very important part of their diet. Okay. Even like elephants and stuff like that, like the babies will eat the mom's poop, because it's partially digested, like it's just ready to go.
That's one thing I did know, which is like, because I mean they're technically picking it up with their nose still, so even. But the rabbit thing, oh gosh, you remember that the next thing? Yeah. Like, oh, my little rabbit, give me a kiss. No.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, maybe don't kiss the rabbits on the face. No. But yeah.
God. I've learned something new today. I didn't want to learn today.
Yeah.
But asking why rabbit poop is circular, I mean, I'm still on the wombat poop is square. There's like mathematics going on there that is weird.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I feel like the circular, like when I think of a square, like a cubed shit, it like makes my bum hole hurt just thinking about it.
Yes, because surely you'd need a square anus. I'm saying that the word, but it needs to be the same shape. I mean, we did this once as a child, and this is a big contradiction to it if it's not. But yeah.
Yeah, my chat's asking how that works for pet rabbits. Well, and then somebody else kind of answered that. They don't really usually let the doo-doo even hit the ground before they eat it. They're eating it from the source, so to speak. So,
Oh yes, yeah.
But at the same time, if you
so
don't, I did know this, if you don't clean a rabbit's area where they go and poop, because the poop they don't want to eat, they will throw everything out. They're like, clean my room. So it's like they
I feel like yeah, rabbits are definitely they seem to be like little princesses. Like they need to get everything exactly their way.
I'll eat it, but when I don't want it, you better get rid of it. Gee, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to the next question.
Okay, so our next question is, why is penguin poop white?
Yeah, well, bird poop in general is white, right? So just because penguins are uh you know, live in the water, they are still birds. But it's like it just has to do with the way that birds digest things, and it's similar to reptiles because birds are very similar to reptiles. And so yeah, I mean, it's just like that's just the way that they process their stuff. That's just it comes out white because they have oh my gosh, okay, here we go. Their digestive tract is not like they do not have a bum hole and like a urethra. Like these guys, it's all one. It's called a vent. Yeah, it's called a vent on reptiles as well as birds. And so they're what's called urates is usually the white part of what you're seeing.
That's right.
And then there is a brown part. Usually, I mean, everybody's seen bird shit, right? It's usually like white and then also some brown or some whatever in there. So the urates mix with the actual feces, and it all comes out one whole in a nice little mix. So that's so in a manner of speaking, it's not actually their poop that you're seeing when you're looking at white
urine.
stuff. Yeah. But it's all one. Like it's not a comparable digestive system to humans, so it's like kind of a little bit hard to explain. But yeah, essentially that's just that's how birds' digestive systems work and how they're how the venting process works for them. So white is actually like kind of a form of their urine, although again, it's not really comparable to humans, so it's not exactly the same thing, but
yes,
similar.
Absolutely. We've got something separate for each one. They've got one.
Yeah.
We came with optional features. And I have a manatee kissing the camera, which is so cute.
Optional features.
Yeah, well, it's like we got the bonus, like, and you get a second device to separate everything. Hairy manatees. Yeah, manatees do seem to be very hairy. It's like elephant hair. Wait, they were related to elephants. Remember I learned that from KP. KP was the one that told me this. They're related to elephants. That's why they look like elephants in the water. They're not sea cows. They sea elephants. But moving on to the next question.
So our next question was, when a bird poops, is it basically poop and urine?
Yeah. So we kind of covered that. So yes.
And that's
look at that. I don't even need to elaborate. The answer is yes.
All in one.
Okay. Our next question is, has the aquarium ever used any animal poop as fertilizer for the plants?
No. Easy answer. No. We don't really have a large amount of plants either per se. Like we're living in the forest. And I think we did kind of talk about a little bit last time that the poop is it's mixed with salt water then. So essentially that wouldn't make a very good fertilizer for the most part unless you extremely treated it, because it's salt water is not typically good for your plants. So no, we don't use any of the doo-doos as fertilizer. It basically gets kind of treated and sent on as sewage, just the same as you and I.
And chat is just now telling me that wombats don't have square bum holes. It's how it forms in the intestines. And now
Well, I
we
know wombats don't have square
Yeah, I know. We were just
buttholes.
imagine how painful that.
But that's what. But
Yeah,
that's why
that's-
I mean
yes,
that I think
but
it's weird. It's like
you're passing a
they have the
square
same circular little
through a circle.
butthole, and a square has to pass through it. Like that's owie. It has corners.
Yes. So yeah, go
You
get this
you
children's
can't
blocks.
convince me that it doesn't hurt a little bit for the wombats.
That's
You
why they
can't
have such
convince
big
me.
eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, this isn't going to be happening to me.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the chat, everyone.
Anyway,
Moving on.
Our
Oh.
next question is: do marine mammals have E. coli in their poop?
oh, good question.
Yeah.
E. coli in particular. I honestly don't know. It's a really good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if yeah. I honestly I can't even tell you that I know. I don't know. I know who would know. That would be Sean. I can text her. Should I text her?
Let's see,
I'll text her, and then if she gets back to me, we'll chat about it. How about that? I'm not exactly sure.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, I'll text her.
From Sean. Like she's.
Is there E. coli? Oops, not E. cool. Stupid autocorrect. In marine mammal doo-doo.
I'm just wondering if she'd be like she's just sitting there. All of a sudden, she just gets this question. Like, did I miss
She's
it?
used to it. I text her weird things all the time.
I guess so.
Yeah. She doesn't shy away from poo-poo talk, because she's a vet tech.
Yeah,
if there's anybody that sees more poo-poo than me, it's Sean.
Vet techs, yeah.
So
Good old.
So yeah, if you missed it, Libero, we're texting Sean asking her if there is E. coli present in marine mammal poo-poo. So hopefully we'll find out soon. All right.
Okay, moving on to the next question.
But in the meantime,
yeah. While we wait for that response to pass.
Okay, so our next question is: have you had to train any of the animals to go potty? I guess
like a
house
potty
breaking them?
No, because it's pretty much their natural instinct to poop in the water, and then if they poop on land, we don't really care. It's a part of the job to clean up doo-doos. But there are some animals I trained a tamandua, which is a type of tree dwelling anteater, to use a litter box at the Denver Zoo, because it was just pooping everywhere, and the way we cleaned it up was really weird, and I was like, what if we just trained it to poop in the litter box? And they were like, that can't be done, and I was like, watch me. So you can, but yeah, for the it's not super common that the animals will poop in the on the land, or and we're really lucky as marine mammal trainers. I spend a lot less time cleaning up poop than zookeepers of land animals do, right? So I'm lucky that way. But yeah, no, not really. Although Joey is the worst for sometimes he'll just poop on the land, which is not normal. It's can you just be normal? Can you just stop doing that? That's weird. He'll come out and for a play and be like, I'm too into this play to leave, so I'm just gonna shit in here and ruin it for everyone else. So maybe he could use a lesson, but
Sounds like Joey. Sounds like really something Joey would definitely do.
Yeah.
Still a baby.
Yeah. 100%.
Next question.
Well, that was the end of our question, but I actually have a
Oh.
question of my own, which we talked about any animals pooping on you last week, but do you have any
Like, have I ever pooped on
related
them?
horror. No.
I could.
Come on.
Table agent, you hold him on this side. Let's.
Anyway, sorry.
Any like poop related horror stories?
Yeah, well, I told you guys about my
same though.
walrus poop story, didn't I?
Yes, where you went out and. Wait, no.
Yeah.
Wasn't that seals? Or was
Well, I think I told you guys about the time that I definitely did. I'll just like briefly go through it, but there was a time when we went out to do a walrus session, and Lakina pooped everywhere, all in the area that we were in. And walrus poop is so bad, and there's so much of it, and it was so stinky. And the area that we were in was rather small and not super aerated. No, I haven't pooped on any of the animals. Everybody calm down. It was just a joke. Everybody's like, wait a minute, what? I'm like, no. Remember, my butthole has to be very comfortable in order to poo-poo, and squatting over the top of a sea otter is not one of the places that it thinks is normal. So anyway, and so Lakina pooped all over the place, and my friend, I thought, who was working with Lakina, just abandoned me in the poop room and left me with the other walrus and just went to the other side of the room, or the other side of the habitat where it was less bad. And so I was like, oh my god, I can't do this. We have to like end the session. Like, this poo-poo is so bad. And so I pointed my walrus back to the water, and he went back to the water, but on the way he hoovered up all the poop that she had left there. And it was like liquid. Oh, it was horrifying. And so then I start gagging, but I'm like gagging, laughing, because walruses are still the greatest, and like crying all at the same time. And those things are very similar too. Like, you know, laughing makes me cry, gagging makes me cry, crying makes me laugh. Like, I don't know. So anyway, it was just this horrible cycle, and I'm laughing, and then I just hear my colleague from across the way screaming at Lakina, "No, stop! Stop!" And I look up, and Lakina's like just blatantly not listening to her, and is just like laying on the haul out. Like, here's Lakina. Is just like laying on the haul out, like looking at her, like this, and just like as if she was like a chocolate soft serve ice cream machine, is just like pooping at my friend on the other haul out, which served her right for leaving me alone with the doo-doos to begin with. And I've never laughed so hard in my entire life. But that was definitely a poo-poo horror story.
Sounds like that it was doing it on purpose.
It was 100. Like, she was making direct eye contact and doing it. It was hilarious, guys. Walruses are the greatest.
Because they'll shoot you with their poop.
And then I've definitely had, when I was an intern down at Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium, the walruses that we had there, we would like, where they slept was unfortunately directly outside of the office. Like, you'd open up the door, and that's essentially where they were. And they would just, and they sleep for days at a time, and there would just be poo-poo spread everywhere. That was pretty miserable. Yeah. Hey, there's another time. This isn't really poo-poo, but one of probably the most horrifying things that's ever happened to me was when Lakina actually she ate too much, and so she threw up everywhere. And they'll eat their own shit, but they won't eat their own vomit for some reason. And I'm like, come on, give me a break. So I had to go clean it up. I had to go scoop it up.
Oh,
like essentially, like with my hands, and like put it into a bucket. And I was literally like, well, I could have like pulled the seniority card. It was with Nadine. And I could have just been like, you have to do this. Like, it was only like her like third week at work. Like, I could have been like, this is your job now. But I feel bad about doing stuff like that. So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna do it. And I was cleaning it up, and she was helping me. She was kind of like hosing it towards me, and like I was gagging, and she was like peeing her pants, laughing so hard. And then we went back later and watched the security footage of it, and it's just me in the background, like, and like just like trying to clean it up, and it was so horrible.
You know what?
But yeah, I love that story.
I was gonna say, you know what's nuts about the story is that you always assume that people in this profession like lose their gag reflex when it's like
Mm.
it's still disgusting.
Oh, something. Well, this would have broken you guys. Like, let me just
No,
let's
no,
let's
absolutely.
clarify. Like it was. I definitely still have that gag reflex,
Yes.
but it has to be really, really bad. But this would have like a lesser
couldn't do
person
it.
would
Yeah.
would have never been the same. Like, that would. This is the stuff of nightmares.
That would be PTSD right there.
Though,
Traumatic
what
stress
still
disorder.
gets me, which is really, really weird, is like so like obviously I work with fish and disgusting stuff all day long. And like we clean the sinks and everything like that. I'm always like hand scooping like shit out of them, and it's like not really that big a deal. But when I come home and like clean my own sink, that'll make me gag. Like I'm like, "Ugh, what is it? That old cucumber?" Ugh," like it's like it's so silly. It's so silly. Or like human hair. Yes, like we were talking about it. Like when I find human hair, like especially if I find it at work in one of our like work sinks, that will make me gag still.
I
Human
know.
hair.
Human hair is terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's like this
Yeah.
way weird. Like that. I never even had that. We like. My mother had long hair. She used to cook dinner, but she never used to do anything. And then like you're busy.
Oh
eating all
no,
this hair.
no,
I'm done.
no.
Why aren't you finishing your food? I'm like,
No.
do you see this? I flossed my teeth. I'm like,
No.
that is to me worse than shit. I can actually say that. It's like, no. Hair. Oh, there we go.
Anyway,
But funny enough,
Yeah.
had the story yesterday. I went to a birthday party and they have 3 kittens and they have this huge cat litter, like the seashells, like a Sheldon that they use for the cat litter, which they put in the
Okay.
lounge. They put in the lounge. I don't know why, but they put in the lounge. But anyway, it was the birthday of someone and the cake was
Oh, no.
a cat litter cake. So they had 3 cats on top of it, had fondue rolled into poop. And it's
Oh
poop really
my
crisp.
God.
So it's delicious, but still your brain's like, I'm eating poop. Like this is cat. There was such a graphically looking cake, but as we're eating, that's when
Oh,
the cats
you
decide
guys.
to shit. Oh yeah.
Sean has
Here we
texted
go.
me.
I was waiting for that.
Sean has texted me. Yes, everyone poops E. coli.
There we go.
Like literally everyone. That's what she says.
Sean has been a part of the stream without being part of the stream. So
There you go.
there
Sean
we go.
says yes. Everybody poops E. coli.
And there's a story for today. We have stories.
And that's why you shouldn't eat anybody's doo-doo.
Yes.
It's one of the many reasons, but it's one of them.
And just don't also make a cake that looks like doo doo. And stay away from walruses if they're looking you dead in the eye.
Yeah, if they're looking you dead in the eye, they're probably about ready to poop at you. Maybe not on you, but at you.
But at you.
Definitely. Yeah.
But thank you very much. I think we made good time here. It's a good
Yeah.
good topic. I believe next week is Shark Week.
It is. So next week is Shark Week, so we're going to be talking about sharks. I don't know like too much about sharks, but we'll brush up on it a little bit. And I'm also going to my YouTube video on Saturday is going to be about sharks.
Oh, that's nice. Please cover something
Yeah.
about white sharks near Cape Town, because that's like obviously it's like one of the most renowned.
I mean,
things.
just don't go swimming, JJ. That's all I have to
we
say.
just don't go to swimming in Cape Town. And we have shark
Yeah.
nets, but we'll talk about next week, that catches sharks on the inside. But I think that's becoming illegal to use now. 'Cause they catch more than
okay.
sharks, of course.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what-
we're gonna talk a little bit about sharks, and
Yes.
then I also have some cool news related to sea otters and sharks happening in the same video. So
Ooh. Well, anyway, thank you very much. Are you going to be streaming after this?
yeah, sure am. I just got distracted because Sean just said, so if you buy lettuce that has E. coli, it means someone pooped in the bag. And then she sent me a thumbs up emoji. Thank you so much.
Wow. Just adding that 10 cents.
That's why you wash your produce.
Yes.
Always.
That is absolutely. And this is why you don't have salad in salad bars when they have it on ice, because they don't turn it properly. And that I know we had an incident in South Africa because of E. coli. So we learned so much.
Anyway,
thanks so much, very much.
yeah.
KP, everyone, I've dropped the links if you want to go watch KP on her channel. And thank you, Reha, once again for assisting on my side.
All right, guys.
And a shout out to all my
See you
mods.
guys.
Yeah.
See you guys next week.
Cheers. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, and then I realize what happens when the camera gets cut. So, so now you can see my face. But yeah, guys, we will be doing Shark Week. Please don't forget that we are still supporting Tuni Chaba's cause this week in terms of diabetes. So by all means, please support that any way you can. But just to let everyone know, we are still going to be supporting Monterey Bay in the forthcoming future. So it's still a live campaign. Thank you guys for helping us reach 1,000 goals over the weekend. I really appreciate it. Whether or not we do the stream again, that took a lot out of us. That was 5 hours of streaming. But it was a real good thing that all of you came here. There we go. Tess is dropping the link. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you, Donna Jones. Thank you, everyone that joined us. Thank you, Petticoats. And thank you to some of you guys that I haven't seen in a while. And thank you, Ivanaya, for joining. And thank you, Tessa, for moderating. Always a help. And we will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.